Hey y'all, IrixGuy here, back again. Not in the studio at the moment, but I am out trying to get some exercise. The time is approximately 5:04 p.m. New York City time. So if you're watching this, this is a live event. So anything that you type, I can see in real time, and we can chat about it. So again, on the mobile device, there's a lot of wind. You know, it is hurricane season, so there's a lot. Whoa! Stepped in an ant mound. That was not good. I got ants on my legs. Hold on. Got ants on my legs. Die. Did not feel good. But sometimes you get ants on your legs, and you got to march forward. So with that being said, today's show is whatever y'all want to talk about. Got a ton of people tuning in. What's on everyone's minds today? Have any of y'all seen the Sony A7 III? Now, Bunker, good evening from Northern Ireland. Good evening, Governor. Welcome aboard. Again, Ireland, very cool place. A place that IrixGuy's Adventure Channel needs to visit very soon and check out the castles and all of the good Irish whiskey and that sort of stuff. So definitely on the radar. Thanks for tuning in. Got a bunch of other people here who all do we have? I mean, we've got a huge audience. This is great. This is exceptional. We got, what's up, man? Sean Ide Studios, welcome aboard. I remember watching one of your videos yesterday. Good stuff. Renee says, good afternoon from Northern California. Very nice. That's up there where you got wine country, and you can get up there to Vancouver, and not too long of a drive. Go through that state of Washington. Fly High Guy, hello. Welcome aboard. Yeah, so A7 III, Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville hot chicken. Sedman says, hey, from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Begs the question, how did they break the arrow? How did that name come about? That's pretty cool. Hold on, ant mound approaching. Don't want to get ants in my pants. Hold on. Be just a second here. Or there was an ant mound. Now there's just dandelion and all kinds of stuff. Cool. So the Sony came out with the A7 III. They lost connection with their arrow. That's funny. So the A7 III, Jeffrey says, hello from Minnesota. Look at your past videos. Let's see. Looking up more travel, any strategies you'd pass on? Well, do you like tropical travel? Greg says, do you use Final Cut Pro 10 to edit your drone videos? Yes, I do all my edits now in Final Cut Pro 10 exclusively. And you can check out my 4K video editing workflow on my website. Let's see. I'm in the mobile app. Keep tapping the screen so I can see the comments. Bhindo 15 says, about 10 miles from Belfast, mate. A town called Warrington. Greg says, thanks. Yeah, Final Cut Pro 10, I love it. There's a lot of people that prefer Adobe Premiere, which I love Adobe products. I use Adobe Lightroom for all my stills editing, but and that's part of my workflow, is when I edit my project in Final Cut Pro 10, I export to I send to compressor, and then I export from compressor. And you can find, just go to my website and search for 4K video workflow, and it should pop up. If you have a problem finding it, man, just toss me a message and I'll reply with a link. Let's see. Jeffrey says, sorry, auto text, just looking for some advice on how you travel to the Caribbean. Any good deals? Well, actually, I've got some good, hopefully good Caribbean travel advice for you. Something I always do is, well, the first thing, let me preface this by I'm not a hotel and resort guy. So if I'm going somewhere, I may be on the best beaches, doing the best things, but I'm doing it on a budget. And yeah, we'll talk about Tello here in a second for sure. So yeah, budget Caribbean travel, something I do. I go to tripadvisor.com and I go to vacation rentals. So say for example in the Caribbean, let's say you wanted to go to, there's so many places you can choose, but let's say you want to go to Turks and Caicos. So what I would do is put in Turks and Caicos. Grace Bay is my preferred part of Turks and Caicos. Sort vacation rentals by price, low to high. And then of the lowest price ones, look for the ones that have a substantial amount of reviews. You can, and I have, before, and actually the place I stayed in Grand Cayman at Rum Point, it didn't have a lot of reviews at the time I booked it, but it was one of the cheapest ones, just a little bit over $100 US a night. So that's how I found that. I took a gamble with it. It worked out great, and I wrote a great review. Check me out on TripAdvisor, TripAdvisor IrixGuy. You can find all my reviews there. Is there a particular island in the Caribbean that you're looking for? And what do you like to do? Are you an adventure traveler? Do you prefer the resort experience, or are you looking to live like the locals and have an affordable pillow and bed for the night? Let's see. How are you enjoying the Tello? Tello's fun toy. I would say a notch above toy, because what I can do with it, I can pick it up and I feel right at home. Flying DJI drones, even though it's a Rise Tech in close collaboration with DJI, it's very similar. So, from a training perspective, I think it would be a great starter drone for somebody that wants to get into the hobby, but they don't know if they're going to like it. I think Tello would be a great way to let them know if they may or may not enjoy the hobby of flying drones. So I like it. It doesn't have GPS, it doesn't have gimbal on the camera, but it does have a camera. It doesn't have removable micro SD card, but all in all, I like the Tello. And you can find the Tello, just go to IrixGuy.com/Tello. So it's it's a cool drone. I've really enjoyed it. Carla says, what do you do for a living? Well, actually I do a lot of things. Primarily, my primary profession is social media consulting. So, if you're looking for any sort of advice for how to grow your social media footprint, whether it's your personal social media presence, or maybe it's your business, or a friend's business, or somebody you don't even know, their business, and that's my primary day-to-day activity. And also I do a lot. I do photo and video services. I do consulting of highly complex Unix, which is if you haven't heard of Unix, it's a multi-user operating system. One of the original operating systems back in the day, back when we saw the internet boom. Most of those servers, if you went to a website, most of them are powered by a Unix operating system. So I do a lot of Unix support, and that's very command line driven, and it's not a skill set that a lot of people nowadays tend to have. It's kind of a dying craft but there's still a huge demand for Unix support. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell, dude. How about scuba diving on a budget? Do you have you used leg extenders for the Mavic Air? Actually, I haven't, and I haven't really found the need to use leg extenders for Mavic Air, because what I do, I've got my case, my waterproof and ruggedized case for my Mavic Air, and I'll take it and you know, just land on it. So I've got a hard, flat, and clean landing surface with me at all times. So I haven't. Have you used leg extenders for your Mavic Air? How about scuba diving on a budget? Well, I can tell you, scuba, there were some good spots in, but when I was in the Cayman Islands, there was a scuba trip that departed. It was a company called Red Sail, R-E-D, Sail, S-A-I-L Sports, out of Rum Point, Grand Cayman. And they did, some friends that we took to the Cayman Islands with us, they did the scuba. I don't do scuba because I don't like not being in control of the situation, and you know, and the thought of having a mask and oxygen on and being unable to surface kind of scared me. So, but there's some great, it was a shipwreck dive down there, really good stuff. Also some good scuba diving in Bermuda. If you're not looking for the warm all year round Caribbean, Bermuda has a lot of shipwrecks, and I highly recommend Bermuda. Jeffrey says, how about that nice little island where you're flying your drone in the middle of the Caribbean? I enjoyed the beach life, staying near the locals. If you want a really local experience, what I would do is I would fly into, and right now they just, unfortunately they had the hurricane, so things are kind of in a state of repair still, but I would fly into Princess Juliana International Airport in St. Martin. St. Martin is a cool island because part of it is Dutch and part of it is French. And if you haven't visited St. Martin before, something you may falsely assume is that, you know, if you go from one side of the island to the other, that you got to deal with customs and all that mess. But that's not the case. When you go from French side of St. Martin to the Dutch side, you don't have to deal with that. But I would fly into St. Martin, and then I would get on and I wouldn't do the expensive book online, luxury ferry or whatever. I would do the budget. I would just take the ferry that the locals take and take the people ferry from Princess Juliana International Airport or Marigo and take it. Fruitful, welcome aboard, man. Texas, great state, good barbecue, good people. Yeah, take that people ferry over to Anguilla. Now, Anguilla is a very cool island. You know, if you want that very local experience, there's a place on Anguilla, and it's not a vacation rental. At least where I stayed, it was an old hotel, and it was somewhat run down. But at the time of booking it, it was only a little over 100 US a night when I booked it, and it was awesome. It was right on the beach, right on Rendezvous Bay. Very natural beach. There's a place on that beach that's in walking distance, and it's a guy called Banky Bank restaurant bar thing, and it's really cool. I highly recommend. And there's tons of great beaches on Anguilla. You know, the Rendezvous Bay, which is closest to where the people ferry docks, it's a great spot. Go to the other end of Anguilla, go to Shoal Bay. I mean, there's all kinds of good spots there. Now, yeah, I mean, that's probably where I would go, would be that section of the Caribbean. It's great. Thanks, man. Hey, Jeff, appreciate that. Yep, this channel, again, independent channel. It's what you see is what you get, and you know, not mass marketed, not part of a multi-channel network or any of that stuff. Just an independent YouTuber, you know, trying to hustle and get this content out. So Goes without saying, check me out on Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/IrixGuy. And, you know, it's not required, but if you choose to do so, you can tip me there. Ken says, any new rumors on Phantom 5? Yeah, Phantom 5. And which video did I watch talking to Sean? Didn't you have the video about the A7 III? Was that the So the Phantom 5, I think with it, we're probably going to see Mavic Pro 2 before we see the Phantom 5. But with the Phantom 5, we should, and again, this is when I say should, I'm confidently saying should, you know, not a guarantee by any means, but my personal expectation is that Phantom 5 is going to be a more pro-level drone. Phantom 5 is going to have, you know, modular camera, dual controller capabilities, so you can have the remote pilot and command, and then have your little camera person over there manipulating the gimbal. So, yeah, I mean, it's looking like Phantom 5 may be fourth quarter of this year, fourth quarter of 2018, but again, not a guarantee. I'm still in the wheelhouse, and I know this goes against the grain, because everybody, the consensus opinion seems to be that Mavic Pro 2 will hit before Phantom 5 releases. So if that's the case, it's looking like Mavic Pro 2 should come at NAB. But I would personally think that it would make more sense if they're releasing a Phantom 5. If Phantom has not been discontinued, I would think it would be that it would make more sense for DJI to release Phantom 5 during NAB, and then release Mavic Pro 2 later this year. You know, don't want to potentially cannibalize sales of your Mavic Air, which is a great drone. And I think the Mavic Pro 2 would be too similar. But what do I know about marketing? Nothing. So, Fruitful, let's see. Fruitful says, my wife and daughter stayed at Frenchman's Resort and joined to the BVI. Yeah, Frenchman's Resort is great, man. Right there on Morningstar Beach. That little beach restaurant thing there, they have a wicked good breakfast too. I love that spot, man. That's a cool little beach. Which BVIs did you go to? I love the modular camera on my Typhoon H. That's cool. You got a good camera, man. Mine was a dud for my Typhoon H. Boat time here in the islands on cruise ships. Cool. You know, that's a good way. I've only done a couple of cruises, but it's a good way to not have to worry about meals and all that. It's actually a cool experience. Yeah, Joost Van Dyke, Soggy Dollar, man, great stuff. Soggy Dollar and Foxy's, and that's a fun place, man. Yeah, cruise is a good way to, you know, to experience a lot of the islands, and then determine if you want to go back and do like a vacation rental on the cheap and stay at time. That's some of the most exciting stuff, is getting off. Yeah, Pusser's rum, dude. Pusser's on Tortola. Yeah, that's good. Got those painkiller drinks. Yeah, the issue, or these intermittent connectivity issues, I should say. Cellular network's the case. Time now is approximately 5:24 p.m. New York City time. If you're watching this then, this is a live show. So again, anything you're saying, you know, we can interact. Another cool fact that you may not be aware of, the streaming that I'm doing right now, it's the chat that we're doing is now If you play back this video after the live show concludes, if you play it back on IrixGuy.com, the previously recorded version, you'll be able to see all of the live comments that you posted while it was live. So that's a cool new feature that YouTube's rolled out. Why did they not roll that out until now, until a few weeks ago? Beats me, but it's a huge improvement. And I apologize for the lighting. I'm in I'm in direct sunlight, and you know, I'm out trying to get some exercise and get trimmed up. One of the big things for 2018, where's that little private? Oh, you need to check out, there's an island off of Anguilla, and it's called Sandy Island. So check out, Google that, Sandy Island. Very cool place. I'm still thinking, for what I know about UDO, a Mavic Pro 2 should satisfy your needs and wants. Of course, everything is speculation. Sorry, I'm having to type the chat window again. It'll be released in the way of the Phantom 5 and Mavic Pro 2. What if Trump tariff make all drone price jump 50%? I mean, I would have to call them up and just be like, hey man, you know, we like, oh yeah, St. Bart's, man, that is good, man. One thing though, we ate at in St. Bart's, ate at Eden Rock. What was the name of the restaurant there? They've got the one downstairs, and then they've got the one upstairs. Both of them, or Sandbar was the restaurant downstairs, which was good. And they had a jungle night, so everything looked like a jungle, the menus and everything. It was delicious, but man, that stuff was expensive. Famous chef runs that in the restaurant upstairs. What's it called? On the Rocks, the big one. When you look at Eden Rock and St. Bart's, one on the rock where you go up top. Yeah, St. Martin's cool too. I've done St. Martin, St. Bart's, and Anguilla, and then nearby I did St. Kitts. Stayed there for a long time. That's a really fun island. And Turks and Caicos, and then up in the, you know, in the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Thomas, St. John, the Tortola, Joost Van Dyke, Norman Island, Peter Island, Virgin Gorda. All very cool places. I want to go to Anegada. I hadn't been there yet. Yeah, a lot of locals don't like the cruise ship crowd because that's when it gets crowded. Renee, I've never been to St. Croix, and is that they used to have a ferry service between St. Martin and St. Croix, and at least it's been shut down for a while, but I'd like to go there. That's where they make some really good rum there. Yeah, Virgin Gorda is great, man. Love the bass in Devil's Bay, crawling through those rocks. Air Rogers made a good point. If someone bought a Mavic Air and then Trump did a tariff, I don't know. You know, I don't discuss politics on this channel, but you know, I will go as far as to say I don't even watch any political topics on TV, man. I wanted to buy into the fear that stuff like that's going to happen. You know, if it did, you know, to your point, you know, that could potentially be an opportunity there, but very cool. Man, it's windy. It's hurricane season, I tell you. Well, I burned an unimpressive 136 calories so far. It's not too good. Yeah, politics definitely is a topic that I avoid. And that's why I do it. Number one, it's just, you know, watching on TV, if you're like me, you probably seldom turn on a TV anymore, because that's all it is. You know, regardless of which side of the fence someone's on, it's always, you know, negative talk nonstop, and I don't want to hear that. So for that reason, I don't watch political stuff, and I don't talk about it. And a lot of people say, well, that's bad, you're not aware of what's going on in the world. And Lemon, I appreciate it, man, thanks. And you know, my answer to that is that, well, you know, if something is important enough for me to know, I'm sure I'll find out on a site like YouTube. You know, I don't care to watch the news and follow the politics. Yeah, it can, Renee, definitely. So, off of the political thing, that's all I'll say about politics. You know, it is windy. It is super windy. But, you know, hopefully I mean, Mavic Air is great. So, you know, it's not like we haven't gotten anything recently from DJI. You know, the Mavic Air is a rock solid tool, and it's been a lot of fun. So, you know, at least from that perspective, I'm satisfied. You know, when DJI ran from, what was it, November of 2016 until a month or so ago when Mavic Air released, I mean, there was nothing of substance. Oh man, check out my website if you haven't, man. Go to epicdroneshow.com or IrixGuy.com. You can find all the drones, all the accessories, and if you know of anybody looking for a drone, refer them to my website, because I've got all the drones there. And if they can't find exactly what they're looking for, you know, shoot me a message. Facebook fan page is the best way to get me. Facebook.com/IrixGuy, and I'll be happy to take the time to try to find a link and shoot it your way. Yeah, Air Rogers, you're right. Although taxes can be political in nature, and they most often are, you're right. I agree with you. It's not necessarily a political comment. Frugal says, if Mavic Air keeps the enhanced Wi-Fi, never have info on controller, can't be used with Litchi waypoint, and won't up the battery life. I'm still a Mavic Pro fan. Well, you know what? That's a good thing. Well, hey, Lemon, thanks for that, man. That helps. But yeah, I mean, that's, you know, a matter of personal preference. I personally wanted to love Mavic Pro, but I couldn't because of the tap to focus. And the Mavic Pro had better battery life than Mavic Air. But for my Mavic Air, I've got those super small and super lightweight batteries. And I think the camera performance, well, the fact that it doesn't have tap to focus is great. But when I look at the detail, the depth of field, the HDR rather, for Mavic Air camera, I think it looks better than the Mavic Pro. So, but yeah, throw a Mavic Pro 2 my way with 1-inch sensor and 4K 60 without tap to focus requirement, and I'm gonna be extremely happy. But I'm happy with the Mavic Air because, you know, I can fly a solid 16 minutes, and that gives me one video. If I don't mess up, I can do a second 5-minute video, and if I don't mess up, I can do another video and still have potentially 1 to real-world battery life observations, 1 to 3 minutes remaining. So yeah, Mavic and image processor do 4K 60. Yeah, they did that with Phantom 3 Advanced. You know, it had, when Phantom 3 Advanced was first released, it topped out at, I think it was 1080p. And then they released the firmware update that bumped the Phantom 3 Advanced up to, was it 2.4K? It didn't go all the way to 4K. I think it was 2.4K. So, you know, that's better than 1080p. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they unlock, like you were saying, the firmware of the Mavic Pro to be able to go up to 4K 60. So anyway, yeah, it's going to be a fun next few months, and I completely expect, at a minimum, if they don't release a drone, the Ronin S, the one-handed mirrorless camera stabilizer, I fully expect DJI to release that for NAB, because what better audience than your broadcasting people that would be using something like a, you know, handheld gimbal stabilizer for a high-end camera. So it's going to be fun, and it's you know, the stage has been set for a bunch of good stuff, and it's just, right now it's just a game, you know, patience. You got to wait, see what releases, and enjoy what we've got in the interim. And what we've got are some great drones. Phantom 4, Phantom 3 Pro's still great. I mean, it's kind of old now, but the camera's great. Mavic Air is awesome, and Mavic Pro, if the tap focus doesn't bother you, it's pretty good. So with that being said, I'm going to conclude this live show. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, youtube.com/IrixGuy. Check out epicdroneshow.com, or just go to IrixGuy.com to find all the latest drones, accessories, how-tos, and more, and merchandise. You get some t-shirts and stuff. And stay tuned, because I'm going to get my hands on this Mavic Pro 2 and the Phantom 5, if it releases, as soon as possible. And be sure to subscribe, youtube.com/IrixGuy. Y'all have a good day.